Welcome to the Oracle Codex podcast. In this podcast, we are unfolding the divine mysteries and remembrances of the Oracle. What is her story? What was lost that we are now reclaiming? And what is her medicine? Let's unwind and reweave our sacred history. I'm your host, Grace, and I'll be holding space during our journey together. Love you so much, and let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Oracle Codex. This is episode 7, and I'm so joyous that you're here with me today. I have a little bit of a different setup if you're watching on YouTube. I have these beautiful purple and blue lights behind me, and I finally have a ring light in front of me so you can see me better. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I feel so embodied. I feel just lately I've been traversing through these depths of pretty much hell, like the worst of the worst, not physically in this earthly plane, but just through my recollection of what my soul's been through. I've been feeling deeply, remembering past selves, remembering some pain points, and allowing myself to be liberated as I remember them and heal them and embody the key codes that are held within healing those deep, dark pains. So I'm just showing up today, and I'm wanting to hold space for love and for recollection and for empathy with self and for deep nourishment for self, deep tending to self, and not being the victim. Today we're going to be talking about creational architecture, which is my love. It's something I'm so passionate about. It's something I've studied for many, many lifetimes, is creational architecture, bio-spiritual science, the science of life, the science of creation, the science of these bodies, and the science of our DNA and organic life. So that's what we're going to be diving into today, and that really is going to gift us this remembrance of empowerment, this remembrance of who we truly are and what we're truly doing here and the capabilities that we truly have, and how exciting it is to be alive in these bodies and remembering and holding space for the deepest, darkest pains to come up so we can liberate them, so we can hold space for them. And just to be transparent within my journey, before the EP files came out last week, I had numerous visions in regards to what exactly is going on there with children and within these deeper, darker aspects of self. So just to give you, this isn't a warning. I'm not even going to talk about anything like that in this episode, but that's what I myself have been traversing through within my own womb, within my own recollection of being and experiencing what that energy and architecture is to my greatest capacity right now. And I just feel really excited to continue healing it and to continue sharing about it and to hold space for women and children and men to remember our sovereignty and that we are whole and that we can feel this pain and we can move through it. And I'm just really grateful that I have the opportunity to feel it. Even though it's horrible to feel, but we're doing it, and it's been an incredible journey thus far, and I'm just honored and liberated to be alive and to be experiencing life and the hardest points of life and to keep moving through it. So, family and friends and soul sisters and soul brothers, let's dive into creational architecture. So the first thing we're going to dive into is remembering creation, remembering what creation is. And creation is you, creation is me, creation is life, creation is the molecules and the atoms around us and quantum reality. And it is all of the multidimensional planes, it's all of our bodies, it's the microorganisms within our bodies, it's the energetic signatures that live around us. It's how we have the capacity and creationality to weave within, manipulate in a holy way, and dance with life in our creational architecture, that which we truly are. That is what creation is. It's that we are playing with life and we are remembering who we are. And I just feel so blissed out to talk about this right now. So I'm just so excited that you're here. And yeah, so within all of those topics, it is that we are able to feel deeply and tend to deeply this creationality and this life force and this divine sacred becoming and being of what life is made out of and how we are dancing with life. We are creating life actively. We are co-creating with God actively. It is my belief system that God sent us out on our missions, and God said to us, you now have, well, of course, in this universal time matrix, we have free will, right? So on an angelic level and in different universes and in different higher dimensional planes, it really is never a desire to go against unity or God. But on this plane, we are allowed total and complete opportunity to experience whatever we want, which of course has caused a lot of chaos, a lot of pain, a lot of torture, because some beings have been severed from God, right? So on a creational level, we are able to manipulate how life interacts around us, how we interact with life. And some beings have been able to literally desecrate things that are organic life, right? Okay, so the fact that some beings have been able to desecrate humanity, our bodies, and bring us into such a dense, deep level is an example of creationality being manipulated. Right? However, I really don't believe that any of our souls were in deep, deep despair to, be brought to such a dense level. Obviously, it's really painful for us because we're so separate from God. But we were excited to experience it because we have the opportunity now to attune ourselves and become even more masterful within our creational will and within our creational identification and ability to transcend and heal and embody. This is like the hardest place in the universe. One of the hardest places in the universe to do that is in this universal time matrix. So when we remember creation, we remember that we're just interacting and playing with life and playing with how things have ended up turning out for us, just being in the 3D, being in the density of it, being in the thick of it. And even in the thick of it, we can find God and we can find a sacred hum, a prismatic expansion in these bodies so that we can go back to God, go back to our wholeness, right? So that really is what remembering creation is that even in the deepest, darkest, most painful experiences, even with free will, even with all of this stuff, these experiments, these holograms, these dream states, we are able to remember our creationality, our connection to God, and our sovereignty, and our ability to move and dance with life and create life. And I keep wanting to say the word manipulate, but I don't really like that word. But that kind of is what we're doing. We're molding, we're being fluid with creation. We are playing with creation and allowing ourselves to become and transcend. So within the universe, there are universal laws that I want to touch on, universal laws and mechanics. So even though, we have dropped into a dense level, we have dropped into a sphere of living that is thick. It's thick and it's far away from God. And that's why it's thick. It's thick because the further away from God you get, the more dense it becomes and the less creational you feel, right? So a lot of people feel that their chakras aren't turned on, their energy centers are blocked, their fields are impacted by a lot of the manipulation going on in the planet through music, through movies, through friends, through programmings, through mind field interruptions. So there are universal laws and mechanics that I believe hold us in a sacred container, that hold us and that hold us to a high degree of sovereign, holy light that protects us from false light. And one of my mentors recently described to me what the difference between these two things is, between false light and true organic light and life. And the difference is that false light is literally exactly that. It's light, but it's false. So it's degrading you. It's pulling you out of yourself. It's pulling you out of unity. It is pretending. So if you ever feel like confused and scared and like, oh, am I attracting false light? Am I doing false light teachings? You can know immediately based on if it's serving unity and if it's serving your sovereign self and if it's serving the holy one true living God. If it's not serving that, it's false. And if it's not serving organic creationality, it's false. So one of the universal laws and mechanics that I believe holds us in a safe container to evolve and become our greatest versions of self is the way of love. It's that the greatest force in this universe, on this planet, is love, is us remembering love, choosing love, and embodying love. And the reason that this is so powerful is because that is what God is. God, if you've ever felt the consciousness of God and the consciousness of creation, it is unsurmountably blissful, exciting, invigorating. It makes you feel like a kid on Christmas Day with a healthy family, receiving, loving, being warmed, giving your love, and just being in that absolute prismatic form of infinite possibilities, infinite potentialities. It's a very childlike form, right? Because that's when we're most protected in our prismatic fields, in our divine being, is when we're children. So the way of love is this perfect architecture that connects us to God, connects us to organic life, and it connects us to unity. Of course, being in love all the time on a planet that has collapsed and is inverted with fallen architecture, with pain, with traumatization is incredibly hard, right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, you should change, you should be better, you should love more. We need to be gentle with ourselves and be real with ourselves that one step at a time, we can continue purifying, we can continue remembering, and we can continue reprogramming ourselves and connecting ourselves back to God and the one true living God and holy architecture, which is the way of love, the way of this sacred becoming, this sacred beingness. So, yeah, you could say like the way that Christ lived on the planet was the way of love. You could say that the way Buddha lived on this planet in his avatar state was the way of love, because these beings serve and they do not expect from the poor. They do not take from others. They are the magnetization and the experience of creational bliss moving through all the cells of their body, that they just exhibit this perfect love and connection to God that they do not take from people. And of course, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't take from people, but we shouldn't take greedily, and be like, I'll give you nothing, I'm just gonna take from you. It's a give and exchange, right? So the way of love is giving, it's loving one another, it's through unity consciousness, it's through this prismatic divine servitude of unity and oneness, which if you have angel architecture is really supportive for your body. You will just absolutely be so held and honored and feel just so at home within the way of love. And if you have starseed architecture, you will also feel so at home with the way of love, because these beings, angels and starseeds, they live in higher dimensional planes, right? We have in those embodiments, in those spheres, in those higher dimensional planes, we have such a greater access to the world and the universe and what's truly going on the planet. So that's what the way of love is. It is the sacred divine becoming. So in this time matrix, in this universal experience, we are allowing ourselves and dreaming the experience of free will. And free will in this universe basically means that we have polarity. It means that we have dark and light, and that we have traumatization and wholeness and fragmentation and all of the things that we are so familiar with in these human bodies. And the reason that free will is such an important universal law and mechanic to understand is that if you ever feel like you are not in your own will, if you feel like you are not in your own sacred sovereignty, and this is my next point as well, is freedom of self, liberation, and sovereignty, that is deeply tied into free will, because if you do not feel like you are accessing and in divine holding of your free will, that means that somebody else is holding your free will for you, and that's a violation of universal laws and the mechanics. And yes, a lot of the laws of the universe have been manipulated and, kind of reversed, and they're being used against us in a smart trickster way, as if they are still aligned within the laws of the universe. So even as I say that, it's not like, God is allowing this. It's just that it is what it is because of free will. Like, it's just, we have the greatest opportunity right now to experience anything, and for beings to manipulate life because of their free will. So this architecture is really important for us to recognize within ourselves and have recognition of, that we need to take back our free will and reclaim our sovereignty. You are sovereign as a being, as an individual. You are not and do not need to be connected to the pain, the traumatization of your ancestral line. You innately are because of your bloodline, but that is for you to heal, to recollect, and to hold karmic awareness of, right? So I'm not saying you can just ditch your ancestral lines, but when you become aware of what is yours and what is not yours, you can experience a whole lot of free will liberation and a whole lot of sovereignty. The next universal law, also connected to free will and self-liberation and sovereignty, is that you create life. You create your experience through your choice points, through your mind, through what you are allowing your architecture in your field, your architecture in your mind, the experience of your body awakening and becoming aware of itself and becoming deeply connected to God and alive and in its prismatic form. It becomes on you for you to then create your life as and what you choose within. So if you are in a financial state that is digressing and feeling worse and worse and worse, and you are in the victim and you are feeling pain and you are, blaming everybody in life around you, that is your free will. That is your choice. That is your experience that you are creating for yourself. Same for people who are very rich, who are traveling, who are angry in their marriages, who are feeling like the world is tearing them down. This is all an experience that we organically have the ability to change. And how do we change it? By you changing the perception you have upon your life and the perception you have upon your energy fields, the perception and the power you are giving to something outside of you. This is where all the power is in the body and the heart, in your sovereignty, in your connection to God. And this is why the mechanics and the universal laws of the universe are really important to take note of, because if you are allowing something outside of yourself to control you, then yes, you are disempowered. You are going to be in lack. You're going to be feeling poverty, pain, karma. And karma is a beautiful thing that allows us to heal and to pay our debts. But if it is consistent looping karma, which I've seen in many people's fields, that is your opportunity to renounce it, to claim the key codes that are in that karma that you are ready to deal with, and let the rest go. Every single lifetime, we are given an opportunity to claim things, to become sovereign, and to become holy and whole, or to still play the game, play the victim, play the faulty. And I can promise you, if you do not feel resonant with creating your own life, there are so many people, companies, governments out there that will happily create your life for you. So rest be assured that it will occur whether you like it or not. You can either take the reins back of your own life and put your hands back on the steering wheel and choose yourself and your liberation, or you can let somebody else do it for you. And I'm not saying this to be an ass or to be, giving you a lecture. I'm just saying this is the mechanics of the universe. So if you are needing to hear that, I invite you to claim it and to claim yourself and to take full responsibility for your experience, because this is your soul's journey. This is your soul's masterclass. Your soul is so excited to be here. And so you have the beautiful opportunity every single day to open the portal and make a change. Hi, Soul Fam. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Oracle Codex podcast. I so hope that you are enjoying this episode and conversation with the Oracle. If you would like to stay up to date on the Oracle Codex podcast, I highly encourage you to subscribe on your streaming platform, and as well, you can leave us a big thumbs up, like, or comment down below. If you want to stay up to date with Grace, the host of this podcast, you can find her at creationalcodes.com or on Instagram, Facebook at Grace Crysdale. And without further ado, let's get back into the conversation. So the next beautiful universal mechanic and creational mechanic that I love talking about is through spiritual science. So manifest reality is formed through 3 different things, and I've talked about this in so many videos on my YouTube page. If you have watched any of them, you probably would have heard this before, but color and light, sound and symbol are a part of the manifest creation in which we experience life, and we experience the dream, and we experience this reality. So color being the colors behind me, pink, blue, the colors you see in your energy field, the color you see the sun as, the color that you see the grass as. That is a light fixture, a light architecture that is portraying to you an experience and a coding. Sound, again, is moving. Sound is very fluid, and it actually is very impactful. I would say sound is probably one of the most impactful. I would say that they're all pretty impactful, but sound is especially impactful on our DNA, on our cells. And that's why, so many people will raise red flags about dark, satanic music that is portraying, negative lyrics, disgusting hurts, things that are going to degrade the body, things that are going to cause health problems, literally on a sound level. And it's kind of funny to think about that way, like how could sound harm me? But if you want to do some research on this, you could look up Nazis and the mechanics that they were working with within sound and hertz, and you will find a lot of information on how hertz can very negatively impact your body and your cells and your DNA and your health. And the last one is symbol. So of course we see things through symbol, through shape, through lines, and through how we perceive life. Your bed is square. Your door is also square, rectangular. The earth is spherical. Your hand is kind of a boxy, rectangular square. Like all of these symbols and shapes are forming life so that we can perceive reality in this way. And when all of these things come together, light, color, sound, and symbol, we experience reality. And the nuances here is where you really can start to empower yourself within developing awareness of architectural creationality. Like I said, the colors around you are speaking to you, and they are informing you of a reality and an architecture and a becoming. And so are the sounds around you. They are inherently interacting with our cells, the water in our body, our blood, our metabolism, our skin, our eyes, everything. Like it's all dancing with you. It's all playing with you. And it's also excited to hear from you and for you to start to listen to life as if it is speaking to you, because it is. And when you do your energy work and your energy healing and you start to interact with all of these things as if they are manifesting reality before you, You will have very impactful experiences that allow you to see deeper and feel deeper and understand life deeper. Beautiful. So I already lightly touched on this, but we'll just bring it up one more time. The power and the creational architecture of igniting and remembering personal will and choice. So when did we lose sovereignty? Again, this was an experience through our free will, through our God will co-creational desire was to be separate, to be away from home, and to be set adrift and to experience life through this way. And of course, that experience has been very painful for a lot of people. It's caused a lot of discomfort and unknowing, and a lot of people even struggle with the fact that they don't know everything. And this is where the Buddhist temples, the teachings of Christ. So we lost sovereignty, but it was our choice. It was our divine experiences. It was our lab experiment. It was our choice to experience this. And remembering your personal will and choice again is really important, guys, because if you let somebody outside of yourself create your reality again, you will just be in despair, you will be in depression, you will be in confusion because you're not actualizing your sovereign free will, the universal laws that your body has intact. And purifying yourself can occur on such a beautiful level when you allow yourself to develop your sovereign free will. Because if you are desiring your angelic architecture, the architecture of your galactic families, of your higher self, of your avatar body, then you need to actualize your sovereign free will so that you can separate yourself from what the world is going through in this 3D reality and allow yourself to experience your avatar, your greatest version of self that can only occur when you actively choose to separate from the 3D density, the 4D density, the 5D astral density of what this planet is moving through. Is when you choose to embody your free will, your sovereignty, and say, I choose something higher and I'm going to actively become this, even though I'm in a polarizing state with the rest of the world. I am the light in a very dark pond. That is okay. That is your sovereign free will. And when you liberate yourself back into your God sphere, you're back into your avatar embodiment, you can very easily actualize and embody these codes that your soul is so excited to bring in for you. The Oracle construct and the Oracle embodiment is one of sacredity. It is one of deep, deep remembrance and deep, deep empathy and deep, deep seeing. In the Oracle architecture, men and women can experience this. Men might be more comfortable with the word wizard and warrior and healer, but it's very similar, of course, to the architecture of an oracle. The oracle will be a little different because the oracle is, of course, a female. She's dealing with the female architecture, and the male is dealing with the male architecture. But the oracle and the wizard are deeply seeing, deeply feeling. They will seek to experience the depths of hell, the deepest, darkest states of reality, because it is their sacred love, their sacred desire to recollect, resurrect, and remember what is going on this planet and what life is feeling and experiencing at this point in time. So, that will be a lot of trauma. A lot of torture will come up. A lot of pain will come up. A lot of the pain of what women have been through will come up. A lot of pain of what men have been through will come up. The severing, the mutilation. I mean, I'm so sorry. All of these things are horrible to hear about, but this is the truth of seeing and feeling as an oracle. And it's interesting because it is so polarizing from the bliss, the creational love of life that the oracle and wizard also gets to experience, right? So we experience the bliss, the love for life, the creationality, the explosive eruption of prismatic architecture, and the knowing that we are so divinely a part of and partaking in something grand and partaking in something that we are so liberated within and can free ourselves of and are helping the planet heal. But then you also dive into the trenches, the deep dark pain of what the humanity has experienced and is experiencing, and it's horrible. It's scary, it's traumatizing to the body, but it's also healing because our body's already feeling it. One of the beautiful templatings that a lot of oracles have is empathy and collective feeling. And this means that when the collective moves through something, per se war, per se, you know, like something horrible comes into the field, comes up into the field. I experienced this when COVID happened, when the EP files came out, when I watch a video on the war. I experienced deep pain, deep traumatization, and it's hard to process because it's not my pain, it's the collective's pain. And in it is the collective's pain, it is my pain. So the oracle and the wizard, the construct is of deep, visceral, and multidimensional feeling. You might have had experiences in the multidimensional planes where you are seeing things that you wish you had never seen. You are seeing things you can't even describe, but they are visceral and you can see them clearly, and you have never seen it before with your physical eyes. And this, of course, is our connectivity to the astral planes and our multidimensional Akash, and the fact that we have experienced things that we do not remember, that we are recalling and remembering in order to heal them. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because the empath's pain is an incredibly potent, powerful mechanism. It is an incredibly important creational architecture, wherein which all of the pain that you experience, all of the pain that you remember that is not really your own, but it is the collective's and it is the universe's. It is such a sacred honor to be able to hold space for this, to be able to choose to heal it, choose to listen to it, choose to feel it in the body and all of your cells, to smell it, to see it viscerally and detailed. And when you feel it with your body, when you process it, when you say, I love you and I still see you, even when you are in the mud, even when you are in the deepest, darkest, most unimaginable pain, I still see you and I still love you. I honor you and I revere you, and I choose not to judge you, but to see you for who you are and to know you're not going to be okay for a while, but that I'm going to hold you. And again, deep feeling, as creation wishes to be felt, does not mean that we're going to be okay as soon as we feel it. Does not mean that we are just going to feel it and then like exhale and just get on with the rest of our day. Sometimes it might take months. Sometimes it might take weeks. Sometimes you might have to cry to a friend, to have somebody hear you, to have somebody listen to you and what you've seen and what you've remembered. Because we are not alone on this planet to remember this stuff. Of course, it is isolating because very few people can understand, but I can promise you I can understand, and your friends might be able to understand if they're on the same level as you. And it is so important that we talk about it and talk about the empath's pain, because it's very uncomfortable. You know, it's not just a walk in the park to feel the universal pain of the abuse that we have been through as humans, the abuse that our souls have been through, seeing images that we don't want to see. It's so important that we talk about it and that we hold ourselves and realize that we are doing work that is unimaginable. We are doing work that nobody else on the planet can really understand. And then we can hold ourselves to a high degree of nurturance and love and sweet, soft tendering. To know that, it's okay to not be okay within that. But also that we are not the victims when this comes up. When this pain comes up and we are like, that was horrible. I wish I hadn't seen that. I wish I hadn't felt that. I wish I wasn't the being on this planet that had to move through that. We can know that the divine empowerment that follows seeing deep, dark, horrible secrets of the universe is a gift. And it is an initiation. It is God asking if you are willing to see. Are you willing to know? Because if you are, I will push you into your next greatest embodiment. I will give you what you want because you are serving God and you are serving your mission. We are allowed to desire things. We are allowed to want things on this planet. In that, if you are serving God, if you are serving the universe, if you are serving creation, you will receive double over because God is so blissful that you are doing the work. God is so excited that you are choosing to be here, choosing to feel, choosing to open up through the barricades, through the gates, through the cement, through all of the doors and the locks and the signs of stay out, don't come in, I'm scared, I don't want to feel this. When you choose to soften and feel that, you will be rewarded because you are embodying your soul's deepest desire, which is to heal and to embody and to remember. If you have the Oracle templating, if you have the Wizard templating, if you have the Alchemist templating, this is something that will serve you so deeply, is to allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to see, and allow yourself to process what you are seeing, because it will change your life. You will be, again, embodied in this sacred lab, this sacred scientist, this sacred holy priest and priestess of God. Finding organic life again. This is one of the last topics I wanted to talk about in regards to creational architecture today. And organic life and organic architecture is the safety that all the starseeds, all the angels will be able to resonate with. All of the healers, all of the priestesses and priests and wizards and alchemists and Merlins and all of these beautiful beings that are here to do this wild work. Organic life is home for you. Organic life is what your body is craving because it is so close and in connectivity to God. And I would say organic life definitely includes this human body, even though some parts of it have been desecrated and taken from us in terms of our great divine senses, our great divine connectivity to God, feeling intrinsic bliss through this body at all times, superpowers, all of the amazing things that the human body is capable of. And, through our lifetimes, we'll be able to activate and move deeper into those divine embodiments of the avatar. The human body is a part of organic life. The human body is a part of the orgasmic, blissful, perfect organic architecture of Yea and of Creator, God, Source. So a lot of people might be sensitive, ultra sensitive to what organic life feels like. That's why a lot of people, end up leaving the cities. They end up, not being able to eat a lot of the things that are in the grocery stores, all of this stuff. And the reason that this is because through light configuration, through sensing collapsed energy models, we can become super sensitized to what we are ingesting, to what we are around, to what we're listening to. And this is a beautiful, holy process. And it's something that empowers us, but I do highly encourage you not to fall into fear within that, to not fall into fear of everything around you, everything, all the food, all of the clothes, because it is my experience through the avatar body that all of that shit does not even matter. Like, obviously it is horrible and painful, and a violation on our free will and a violation on our sacred bodies. But when we remember who we truly are, I can promise you can transmute some nasty, icky food. I can also promise you that you will never want to eat that again because it will not serve you. But yeah, if you're like in fear of everything, I highly encourage you to get out of that energy because it is not serving your body, it is not serving life, and you will have such a more easeful, divine, sacred time when you are able to find neutrality and understanding the ways of society and the world right now, and that you can do your great divine part by feeling all of it, not running away from it, honoring your body's needs, and doing the best that you can, and still continuously enacting to embody your divine, holy, sacred avatar self. So organic life is Mamaya. It is the trees, it is the wind, it is the water. It is that life, and organic life is us. We are literally the same as nature. We are the imprint of nature in a human vessel. We are the temple. We are the walking, breathing, talking, action-taking embodiment of Mamaya and of Creator. And that means that organic life is found in this body, found in nature, found through animals. And it is so important that we are in recollection and deep reverence to organic life and also feeling into organic life. So sounds outside, inside, lights outside and inside, nurturing your body. I am in deep reverence to my body, to nourishing my body. As the female, I'm just absolutely in love with nurturing my body and holistic nutrition and health and food and warmth and also movement as a warrioress and as an alchemist. So we can fall in love with organic life because it is the most incredible, sacred, divine thing on this planet. Of course, is organic life, is your body, is nature. And we can and should explore it and seek to inquire deeper into it, seek to be interested in what's going on in this body, what's going on in nature. Why is it that my body responds this way? Why is it that nature moves this way? We are mirroring each other and we are dancing together. So you can seek, where are you being overridden and being, kind of unacknowledged and pushed out of your free will inside of your sacred divineness in and within organic life. Where are your free wills being suppressed? Where is your liberation being held from you, held away from you? And of course, like, these are not victimizations and us being like, oh, I'll never be able to get it because he's holding it over my head. Like, when you are embodied in your greatest divine version of self, it's yours and you can grab it whenever you want. But we can acknowledge, when it's being made harder for us, when we are being made to be sick and confused and in chaos and in illness and in lack, poverty, all of these things that are very inorganic and false and collapsed models of the one true living God and our experience on this planet. So you can acknowledge where all of those pieces of inorganic life are playing a part in your story, playing a part and making it even a little bit harder for you to embody, and yet you still have the choice to see it and honor it and look at it and revere it and question it, deeply question it, and also seek yourself. What do you want? What do you need? What do you aspire to be? What do you desire? And what are you giving yourself guilt for, shame for, punishment for? Are you punishing yourself for desiring? Are you punishing yourself for being interested in intimacy, for being interested in playfulness? As the oracles, as the wizard, as the avatar, sometimes we take life so seriously and we're like, I can't play. I can't go dance with my friends. I can't have this pasta. I can't, do all this stuff. Is that truly what God sees of you as? I personally don't believe so, and I've been liberating myself inside of these mechanics, inside of these imprisonment models of I need to be sitting outside, hanging upside down actually, probably blistering my legs all day and all night in order to be worthy of God's love. Like all of these interesting mystic teachings where it's like suffering is the greatest way to connect to God. Is it? Or have we been convinced that suffering is the only way to connect to God? Of course, suffering is a doorway, but so is bliss, and so is tenderness, and so is love. And of course, I'm a woman speaking this to you. I am in love with tenderness and motherly nurturance. So how could you expect any less? And of course, I do want to interview men because I want to know their experience. And I know that suffering and the pain and the bruising does allow us deep entrance into the temple of God, into the experience of reverence and devotion and truly choosing as a warrior what God expects of you, and how you can access God and fall to your knees in humbleness that you are experiencing this lifetime. But also on the Oracle Codex, right now, we are expressing and experiencing the feminine bliss of, with my interview with Britlin LaBeouf, a little bit of selfishness, a little bit of me time. My interview with all of the oracles. You know, we're diving into this experience of what do I want? Who am I truly? And what is my greatest, deepest desire? And how can I liberate myself more and more and more so that I can continuously remember who I truly am? If you need support in diving deeper into yourself, into your mechanics, into your architecture, into your energy light body, into your Akash, your past lives, into your energy models, into who you're becoming, into what your guides want for you, what your higher self wants for you, and all the limitations that you might be experiencing, you can connect with me at creationalcodes.com and you can book a one-on-one session with you. If you are watching this before I change my prices, I highly encourage you to check it out because I am about to change my price. I'm about to embody a whole different version of self within my abundance so that I can take deeper action in my mission. So if you would like to book a session with me and you are like, I want that cheap 1 hour long session with Grace, now is the time to book in. Otherwise, I will see you next time, beautiful dear star family. And it was such an honor to connect with you and go deep. And I will see you next time. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Oracle Codex podcast. It means so much that you're here listening to the Oracle speak and share their wisdom and enter the temple space. If you'd like to stay up to date on this podcast, please subscribe on your streaming platform. Please give us a big like. And if you have any opinions, questions, concerns, or love to share, please comment it below. If you want to find Grace, the host of this podcast, you can find her on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and at her website, creationalcodes.com. Thank you so much again for being here, and we will see you next time.